Hey, everybody. Welcome to Fun List Friday, right here on the Eat, Sleep, List YouTube channel. My name is Matt Johnson, your forever gracious host, and thank you so much for being with me here today. I hope you're having a great week. All right. Happy Friday to each and every single one of you all. I've been having a great week. I've had actually several great weeks. It's been a good year so far. I'm really getting after a lot of the stuff that I hoped to achieve, to accomplish in 2026. Mentally, so far so good. So far, really good. All right. Socially, getting some great things going. My cousin came up with this great idea of starting a book club. And me, another cousin, my brother, and myself, we got it into action. All right. Picked out a book for us to read. We got together to play some video games, ate some pizza and wings. It was wonderful. Work's been great. All right. Bountiful amounts of overtime. All right. Just enough. I'm not doing too much, but enough to the point where I can afford things. All right. Getting caught up on stuff and actually have some leisure money. And a couple of weeks ago, actually it was probably more so like right before Christmas, I spoiled myself. All right, I treat yourself. That's what I did. And I found for a great price a electronic item that I used to enjoy back in high school. And I enjoyed this electronic item for many years. I'm not going to spoil it just yet because it is on my list, but it did lead to me deciding on this thing, deciding on the unique electronics list. And it's really cool because, I mean, I'm 34, almost 35 years old, and I've seen a lot of cool technology. I've seen a lot of bad technology, but I've seen a lot of cool stuff come and go for a variety of different reasons. And it's like, it's one of the neat things, like, it's one of the pros of living in a materialistic society. Not to get all deep and philosophical with you. There's a lot of bad, when materialistic stuff is there, but the positive is that the intent to grow, intent to be better, do things better, create better things for people to buy, to make people's lives more entertaining or easier. And unique electronics are like that. All right, because for a lot of electronics, all right, at the time when they are released, they are the peak. They are the absolute best. You see commercials. This is the best we've ever had of this specific thing. The best edition, the best version. It's never been better. Stuff like that. It's peak. It's almost like a mini time capsule, all right, as to what life was like back then, whenever these respective items came out. And some lasted. All right, some lasted. Some grew into better things eventually down the road. Some of them just fell by the wayside. Maybe some of their ideas were taken and put to better use by other electronic items, but there's a lot of stuff that just didn't quite hit the way that it had hoped, and they went by the wayside. But regardless, there's a lot. There's been a lot of it. And I really want to do something random today. For Fun List Friday, and I'm glad that me purchasing this old high school item led me to this list. All right, everybody, it is time for my favorite part of every single video that we do. It is time to make the list. As I always encourage, please feel free to comment your list in the comment section below, or feel free to send me an email, eatsleeplistpod@gmail.com. Would love to hear your feedback for this video and every single video that we've actually ever posted or will post. I love the feedback. Love the lists. Thank you for all who do that. I think this one would be cool, though. I mean, every list would be cool, but I know there's several different generations of people who watch this videos. Love to hear favorite electronics from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. Even maybe some stuff I've overlooked in the 2000s or 2010s. All right. You might remind me of something that I completely forgot about. You very well might. because I thought I was pretty thorough on this list, and I just remembered something else. All right, just remembered something else to put into it. So yeah, would love to hear your feedback. Let's get to it. I got some fun ones to talk about. Let's do it. Here are my top 10 unique electronics. Number 10, I'm going to go with the Juicebox video player. Many of you probably never heard of this. In 2004, I'm pretty sure, 2004, 2005, this thing was out and about, and me being a big pro wrestling guy, WWE was pushing this Juicebox video player hard because they were putting out 2 of their DVDs or documentaries out on this thing. All right, they came on these little cartridges you'd plug into the Juicebox and watch. This thing wasn't very big. It was probably, if you double the height, I guess, or width, however you want to look at it, that's probably how big this thing was. Relatively portable. I remember I had wanted it for some time, and it was just after Christmas, and we were at Toys R Us, me and my mom, and I was begging. I'm like, please, 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 can we figure this out? Can we make a deal so I can get this Juicebox thing? I mean, I was just such a fan. I wanted to be in on everything. And so she caved, bought it, and with it, the one Juicebox video clip that I wanted, this cartridge, it was the Chris Benoit DVD documentary, whatever it was. I got it. Big fan of him at the time. All right, he was kind of in the middle of a push or getting really blowing up. I go home. I watch this thing. I was surprised and disappointed there was no like matches on it. It was just literally the documentary, but I watched it probably 9, 10 times over. Never bought another video thing to watch. Never bought another cartridge or whatever it was that played these. That was the media to play on the Juicebox video player. Never bought another one, and it just went away. All right, it just went away, and it was cool. I mean, in theory, like I didn't have a smartphone at that time. I don't even know if smartphones were really a thing at that point in 04, 05. Portable DVD player, not really affordable or necessary, but I had this little Juicebox. It was cool in theory. Maybe if I had a little bit more expendable income at that time, could have bought a couple other ones, got some more usage out of it. But it was really neat. It felt cool to kind of hold and watch. And I mean, now everything is on our phones and all that stuff. But at that time, for like 3 or 4 months, this was the coolest thing that I had ever gotten. So I appreciate you, Mom, for caving on getting me this Juicebox video player. But yeah, it's my number 10 unique electronic. Number 9, I'm going to go with the Hasbro Force Effects lightsaber. These things were coming out in the early 2010s. I was being obsessed with Star Wars. I loved the way the glow and just the look and the sound effects. All right, this thing was unbelievable. I grew up with the toy electronic lightsabers, the ones that you flop out, it like extend, and you could push a button that turns it on and it lights up, and some of them made sounds. I grew up with those. I wanted the adult version of it, and I remember put some money away from working this parking lot job, ordered it online, the Anakin Skywalker Hasbro Force Effects lightsaber, got this thing in, and it was awesome. It would still be in use today. I brought it for a photo booth at my stag party in 2018, and somebody took a swing at it with it. These things were very fragile, and that's kind of like, that was my only problem with it, is that it didn't take much to mess up the LED lights. And somebody hit something with it, and the middle of the lightsaber just stopped glowing. And I was so sad. But I loved that lightsaber to death. Absolutely loved it. And these replica lightsabers have come so far. There's a lot of great dueling lightsabers where you can really whack the shit out of stuff, and and they're fine. They're great. The material that they use is perfect. But this thing was really, really special when I bought it. I wanted to get a huge collection of it. There was a couple character lightsabers that I wanted in this style. I wanted the Darth Maul and the Count Dooku, and I eventually got my brother the Mace Windu lightsaber, which I did mention in the Christmas Gifts Given video. But yeah, this thing was amazing. I held on to it for, 7-8 years, took good care of it, and loved that thing. Wish I never bought it to that stag party, I will say that. But that's my number 9, the Force Effects lightsaber. Number 8, it's similar to a Tamagotchi, but not quite. Digimon was the be-all. It was an important cartoon for me at a certain point in time, and I noticed that they released these Tamagotchi-like devices. They were Digivices, which were like the main little gadget on the show. But you buy it and you get a certain Digimon, and you move, you shake this thing, and you got to get the steps in, and you got to feed it and take care of it and all that. I got it for my birthday one of the years. I got the green one in the season 2 one, so it was kind of like egg shaped, but it was really neat. It was really neat. I was really obsessed with Digimon. To have that thing on the go with me was great. Just kind of walking around. I was you could battle, right? You could battle monsters in the middle of this thing, right? It's a random encounter. Shake the damn thing, and so you can try and win. It was so random and cool. That Digivice was amazing. Would love to get my hands on another one. It is very expensive in the resale market, but maybe someday. But that's my number 8, the season 2, or I don't know. It's a Digivice. Let's just call it that. Number 7, I'm going to go Star Wars Comtech. All right, this thing was interesting, to say the least. But Star Wars Episode 1, in all of their wonderful and glorious toy releases, one of the things that some of these figures came with, or they did a whole line of it, were these Comtech chips. And what these chips would do, they'd have a picture of a character, whichever character, just toy you bought. And what you could do is you can scan it on this Comtech thing. It looked like their communicator translator, not a translator, but like a communicator device from Episode 1. And you'd hold it over a certain part of it, and it would say a couple of lines. And they advertised it as a way to enhance the play time. I mean, I never really felt it like that. I never was like, ooh, I got to scan this Comtech chip or I can't play toys thoroughly enough. One of those things. But it is cool to think that I had a bunch of those. And I was laughing the other day. My friend Will sent in our group chat. He has a ton of them. He made it like a crown on his head, and I couldn't believe the amount of them there were. I mean, it was forward thinking, and obviously it didn't pan out all that much, but it was. I mean, there was a lot of them, and it's a good It's a cool, fun, nostalgic reminder of the Episode 1 Phantom Menace toy merchandise stuff, the things that they were putting out there. They made a crap ton of money on merchandise, and almost none of it's almost not worth anything. People were clearing out shelves left and right. Toys R Us, KB Toys, Kmart, everywhere. They were clearing out these shelves, and in the hopes of reselling it maybe for a profit someday, and they did so much that none of it's worth anything. So, but that's Star Wars Comtech. That is my number 7. Number 6. This one was a wonderful Christmas gift that my Mima got me, and my cousin Nico actually too. I don't know if somebody else got one as well, but I remember this thing pretty fondly because I like I always liked the concept of these the electric things that can move, electronic things that can move. Remote control cars, the Poochies. that these were bio bugs, and these things were massive. They were huge. Um, and they'd walk. You can walk around and you can feed the thing, and it would actually fight. Like me and my cousin Nico, I remember we got these things on Christmas. We opened them up, and we had them fight. And it was so cool because we could talk to you through the remote. You could level it up and all sorts of stuff. It was like a Digivice or a Tamagotchi, but just in like I can look at it like it's a physical material thing. And God, man, I was so excited to show that thing off. Eventually outgrew it, but man, the time I had with that thing was really cool. Like I just remember just putting it out there. I would terrorize my little brother with it sometimes, but just walking the thing. All right, setting up. I had the attic to myself. That was my bedroom, and just letting that thing walk down the long hallway. Or when I'm doing some of the toy wars that I was doing at that time with my brother or my dad or whoever, bring out the BioBug, and it's kind of like this big boss creature. This was a really neat thing. They made a lot of electronic items like this, but the BioBug was the one that stuck with me. So that's my number 6. Number 5. This one may not seem so unique now, but at one point in time, it was. And I'm going to go with the iPod. The iPod Touch. All right, I miss iPods. I do. I know it's all basically iPhone now, and there's a lot of people that are just Team iPhone, including myself. But I miss the disconnectiveness. I don't think that's a word. But I miss the disconnectivity of having an iPhone, all right, without the phone service and the constant phone calls and text messages. No, I love the iPod because it was the best parts of, I feel like, an iPhone. Like, you can get games, and back when the iPod Touch was out, not everything was it cost stuff, right? Like, you could just have the iPod and play games, and there weren't ads popping up all the time, and people weren't these game companies that were making these. They were a little bit more creative with some of the games that came out. Now I feel like if you play one style of game, there's dozens of them out there. Flappy Birds, Angry Birds. I used to play you could do like bowling. There was the shotgun thing you could do. There was just a lot of cool. I'm just trying to think of some of the names, but games. But it was just better back then. All right, and just have the music. I wish I could have an iPod. I might have to go back in time. I might have to go and find an iPod Touch and just get it. Because, like I said, I'm a couple weeks ago. I'm kind of like, I kind of want a flip phone. I kind of want to go back to it, but I also still want to have access to some of the things. And I don't know, like I didn't have Wi-Fi all the time back then, so you only check it when you get a chance, right? You only check your social medias when you had a chance. It was just, it just felt so much better back then. I remember the first one I got. It was life-changing. Me and my then girlfriend, we bought each other iPods, and that thing was so cool. Just the amount of music that I had access to, just downloading stuff, and I had so much stuff on there. So much stuff. So iPod, number 5. Number 4, I'm going to go with the Pokédex. All right, it's another Hasbro creation. I'm pretty sure it was Hasbro. I've talked about this thing before, but in Generation 1 with Pokemon, they came out with a Pokédex, and what you would do is you got this thing, and you could capture kinda all 150 original Pokemon. You can punch in number, all this stuff. You basically had access to them, their information, which was neat. And I remember I had 2 at one point. I begged my mom for it right before my birthday, and then a friend at my birthday ended up buying me another one. So I had access to 2 of them. Love it. I have one to this day. I talked about that a couple weeks ago in the Christmas gifts given list, where I didn't want to give up mine, but I helped send one to somebody who wanted it. But it's so simple in hindsight. And when I like rebought it, I'm like, man, this doesn't feel as nearly as magical as it once did. But I just remember having it back in the day and how cool I felt walking around that thing. With that thing, because you watch the cartoon. And Ash would have one. All right, you pull it out every chance you get. You learn about a Pokemon just to see their little sprites, on the screen and getting to read information and all that stuff. And it was cool. It was cool. It's definitely a nostalgic piece of technology, even to this day. So the Pokedex is my number 3. Number 2. I'm sorry. So the Pokedex is my number 4. My number 3, I'm going to go with the PlayStation Portable. Now, this was the electronic item that I was referring to earlier when so the Pokedex is my number 4. My number 3 is the PlayStation Portable. Now, this was the electronic item I was referring to at the top of the video that I repurchased. And it inspired me to do this one. I'm having a blast with it. The only thing I'm sad about is that I cannot connect to the internet. All right, and it's because internet securities have advanced so much since the PSP came out over 20 years ago that I'd have to remove security features from my Wi-Fi to hop on. And that is not worth it to me. And I spent some money on like games for the PSP back then. If I could find the old memory stick duos, that would be great. But game system aside, which was, amazing what it could do as far as the graphics, but movies, the ability to watch movies on the go, music. This was my first MP3 player, the PSP, the PlayStation Portable. I would load that thing up with music and work out for wrestling practice. We go run on go do stairs or go run on the indoor track. I'd have the PSP readily available. The internet browsing, that was a neat thing. I was using that to go on MySpace back in high school. Just amazing what the vision for that was, because it blew out, I think at the time, the Nintendo, like the Game Boy Advance. I think that was like its comparable thing. Maybe Game Boy SP, maybe that. But Sony tried to do other things with it, and it just failed. They did the PSP Go, where they put this thing out, but it was only digital games, and it was expensive, and people didn't want to buy it. Then they did the PS Vita, and that failed. To me, the PSP is the greatest handheld video game console of all time because of the range of things that it could do. And it was at a good price, too. Just overall quality. I love it. I've been playing it considerably since I repurchased it almost a month ago. And I love it. It's bringing back warm and great memories for myself. So that's my number 3, the PSP. My number 2, this thing is significantly less technologically impressive than the PSP or some of the other things that I've mentioned so far. But I grew up with these things. It's not just one thing, it's multiple things. It is the Tiger Electronic Games. All right. I was not allowed to play video games endlessly as a kid, and I'm grateful. Like, my parents would allow me an hour a day at the very most, and sometimes I had to do it with my dad. If my dad was home, I was allowed to do it. If he wasn't, I wasn't allowed to play it. So in the meantime, I had to entertain myself somehow, some way. So we'd get these Tiger Electronic Games, and if you don't know what these are, like, there's something for everybody. All right, sports. They had plenty of football ones, baseball, basketball. They had seemingly every single entertainment property ever. Batman, Sonic the Hedgehog, Power Rangers. I had so many Marvel ones. All right, I had X-Men. I had 2 X-Men ones actually. Mortal Kombat. That was one of the ones I really enjoyed. I don't know if I mentioned Toy Story, but I had a Toy Story one. I had a lot. My sister had a couple. It was simple, and it was good. And I know the angry video game nerd trashed these many years ago on his one. I mean, I love his channel, but I thought he was very harsh. He's a gimmick, He was playing a character, and I think, but I have fun memories of playing this thing. I mean, it was cool. It was simple. You play for a high score, something that video games desperately lack nowadays. You're playing it to be the best. That's what it was. Not just playing for stories and all that, but you were playing these games to be the best. You could do 2-player modes, all right? Try and get as many points as you can in this run. And yeah, those things were special. Those things were special. I still have a couple. I would love to get a collection going. All right, because they seem pretty cheap to buy. But yeah, Tiger Electronic Games, wonderful, wonderful thing. That's my number 2. And my number 1. This is the most recent one on this list, but I haven't really played it in a long time. But it's the Oculus/Meta Quest 2 VR headset. I came home from a trip to Indianapolis in 2022. I had tried it out. A couple weeks prior, I knew I wanted this thing, and I bought it. And it was life-changing. The ability to play virtual football or play Resident Evil 4 on this game. And it's I bought a lot of games on it. All right. I think if they can, there's some things that they have to tweak. But I feel that VR gaming is the future of playing video games. Graphics are only going to get so much better. All right. They're as realistic as they get. The next step to all of that is being in the game, moving it yourself. All right. Resident Evil 4 was crazy in first person, in VR. Very intense, very scary. I would do there were Star Wars games I played. There's sword fighting games, shooting games, bowling, which is always a nice time. You could just remind me of Wii bowling, but yeah, it's a great console. I have to bust it out again at some point. I do. It is really fun, but it was the most unique thing ever. I know they came out with a third one a couple years ago, and it was really expensive, and I wasn't willing to dish out the money for it, but. I do love my MetaQuest 2. I do, and I will get back to it. But there it is, everybody. That is the list. That is the top 10 unique electronics list. I thank you so much for watching this. We'll be back on Monday. All right, we'll be back on Monday with more stuff. We are going strong. We are going strong, and I'm grateful to be doing this. Thanks for watching. We'll have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Till next time. Do you even list?